Hey there, Team Horizon, and welcome to another training video brought to you by Ash Miller. Today, we're going to be talking about Meta Business Suite and how to do the basics such as signing up for your Facebook business page as well as your Instagram business account and how to link the two together. So, one of the very first things you need to know about being able to set up your Facebook business page is you must have a Facebook personal profile. Okay, that is an absolute requirement in this day and age. You used to be able to make a business page without having a personal profile. Those days are no longer. Hopefully, you've already gone through the steps that are required to be able to kind of clean up your Facebook personal profile. You are going to want to have some more recent posts that are set to public so that anyone who looks at you without being friends with you can tell that you are indeed a real live human doing real live human things and posting on a regular basis. They want to know that you're there and that you're active. Okay, so we're going to gloss over how to do that in this particular video, and we're instead going to focus on how to get that business page set up. So I'm about to screen share with you. I'm going to talk you through some of the steps. Now, what I'm doing today is I am creating kind of a standalone. It's not a real account. I actually already have mine set up, but for the purposes of a training video, I want to show you what it looks like from the very beginning. All right, so I'm about to start a screen share, and that's about to come your way in just a second. Here we go. All right, so you should already be logged in on your personal profile. You're going to come to the pages section, and then you're going to hit the little button right down. It's going to look like that, but it's going to be blue, and it's going to say create page. Now, I've skipped ahead so that I'm not revealing any of my personal information on this particular recording, so that way you can see what it should look like as you're getting going. So under the page name here, you're going to put the name of your business. Hopefully you've already done your research. You've already come up with an amazing name. You've determined that nobody else is using it this way. So for our pretend one, I'm going to name our page Sparkles Travel Adventure. Okay. Now, gotta make sure that I got that all typed in correctly. So that would be what we'd be attempting to name this. Then you're going to come into the category. Now, for your travel business, I recommend selecting travel company. Now, it's up to you. You could also probably play around with travel and transportation, but travel company is my top recommendation for this one. So we would go through and we would add in our category. From there, and this is important, I know it says it's optional on your screen, but you do want to be able to type something into that bio. Something between about 5 to 10 sentences. Again, this idea is speaking to people who do not know you yet. These would be ideal clients. These would be folks looking to turn to you to have them be helped in their travel needs. So you want to put something here in this bio. It is a good idea to be consistent in how you are speaking, whether that's in the first person or in the third person. That's going to be entirely up to you. But I like to do things like Sparkle Travel Adventure is located, like give people a good idea as to where you're from. It's located in Magic Valley, USA. We specialize in adventures for all ages. Right now, you'll notice as we are putting it in there and going through, I am double checking for typos, and we can see directly what that would look like to somebody who was visiting your page after it was already created. Right? So our first steps are to go through, they're to put in that name, it's to select that category, and we're going to start to fill out this bio. From here, you'll notice I can't add anything else yet. I have to go ahead and hit that create page button. Boop. And now what Facebook is doing, Facebook is going through, it's doing a little bit of a check. It's trying to make sure there's nothing else that's already been labeled this way, which you should have already done your homework. You should already know that you're not going to find anything there. From here, you're going to go in and you're going to fill out some of this contact information. Now, I do recommend considering ahead of time how much of this information you want to have available to the public. Remember, this is your business page, so it is going to be information that's out there for anyone to be able to see. Definitely be sure to put down your website. If you're just getting going, you don't have a website created for yourself yet, you can entirely use that one provided to you from Evolution, and you just pop it into that area. Be sure to consider whether or not you want to have a phone number associated with your Facebook page. I utilize a Google Voice number instead of putting out my personal cell phone number here. This way it gives me a little bit of professional distance between myself and my clientele. And then you would make sure to put down your professional email. Again, we're doing this for our business. You want to be providing your business information, not necessarily your personal information that you've been, say, oh, I don't know, using for the last 20 years as an email address. That's probably not the one you want to have go here. From there, you want to make some selections in terms of what are your hours? Are you always open? The bulk of us work as virtual travel agents. So I personally do actually have mine set to always open. So that way people can look at it and know that they can contact me at any time. Now, this does not mean I'm going to reply to them at any time, but it does mean that they can contact me at any time. You'll notice down here on the bottom, we get a little bit of information from Facebook itself in regards to how much info have you put onto this business page in comparison to others in that same category? So this is where our category selection is going to be a little bit of an influence on what we're doing. Now I'm going to put down that we are always open. I'm going to go ahead and leave this information blank for right now because this is my pretend profile that's really focusing on the steps it takes to get here. From here, we would hit the next button. And this is where we want to have some stuff ready to go, right? So we would simply add our profile picture here, and we would add our cover photo here. Now I want to take a very quick second to let you guys know some specifics about that cover photo. So according to Facebook, your cover photo displays at 820 pixels wide by 312 pixels tall on a desktop computer. Versus on a smartphone, that's going to be at 640 pixels wide by 360 pixels tall. So the size changes just a little bit based on how someone is viewing your page. Here are some recommendations coming from me about how to select your image sizing. You want to use an image that is at least 940 pixels wide by 352 pixels tall. If you want maximum best quality for that image to come through, though, you want to be utilizing an image that's at least 1,880 pixels wide by 704 pixels tall. Now, if you're like, Ash, I don't know how to be able to go through and adjust the sizing on my images, I'm going to turn this back to our handy dandy friend over at Canva, which is going to allow us to be able to actually go through and set those pixel sizes and dimensions. It's going to have templates available. You can make it as fancy or as simple as you want to. So now I'm going to show you how to be able to set this up utilizing Canva. Okay, so this is for our cover image on our Facebook business page. So I'm about to screen share with you. So here we go. So now we're looking at Canva, right? What I did to get here was I typed in Facebook cover and it gave me an abundance of available templates that you can utilize. You can absolutely make sure that you can come up with your own, make it unique, make it personal. So we mentioned earlier that I gave you some big numbers for recommendations in terms of image sizing. Now, to be able to do that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come up to this little resize button right here, and it's going to show me what the pixel dimensions are. Now, we said for our best quality, we want something that is 1,880 pixels wide by 704 pixels tall. Now I can do this because I haven't worked on it yet. I'm not going to choose the copy and resize button. I am just going to hit resize. And now it has adjusted for me, so it's already in the correct sizing. Now I can move things around, be like, I actually like that guy over there. We're gonna go like this. So I put things back in the corners because I resized it, right? We're gonna give it a little bit of room to play. I'm gonna come in here. We said it was Sparkle, Travel, Adventures, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and take that guy out. I could do something just as simple as this, right? Now, pro tip on naming. Whenever I save any files that I have made in Canva, I like to give them at least the year, if not the complete date. So that way, when I am searching later, it is a little bit easier to find. Travel, adventures, there she goes. And I'm going to go ahead and download this for myself so that I can show you all the way through how to be able to put this app on your Facebook. So we're going to hit download, and it's going to download itself to my computer. Bing, bang, there we go. I'm about to have a switch what we're working on. So here that comes, screen switch, boop. There we go. So now I can come to add cover photo, and I know there's my naming, Sparkle Travel Adventures, and there we go. And now we have that all set up. Now, no, when you're looking at it right now, you're not going to see necessarily how it comes through once your page is actually finalized. Some things to know, it's going to take the color from these outside edges to give it just a little bit of depth and dimension. And it's going to have a little bit of a band down here on the bottom that gets some graduated shading. Why these things are important is it means you probably don't want to have any information down on this bottom edge. It's going to stand a very high chance of being covered in a way that somebody can't read it very clearly. Now, if you want to have words on it, I super recommend trying to center them, because after this is all set up and when people are looking at it, your profile picture is actually going to relocate itself just a little bit. It's going to move over to the left-hand corner, and that's where it's going to be found when people are looking at your page. So that's another tip. Probably want to keep words and phrases kind of out of this corner so that way they don't get covered in that process, right? I'm going to go ahead and not add a profile picture right now because I don't have one ready to go, but we're going to see what happens there. So I'm going to click next. And Facebook is going to update that. Wonderful. You're going to be given the option to connect WhatsApp to your page. Is a great move if you already have your WhatsApp set up. If you don't have it set up yet, that is something you can add in at any point in time later. So if you're not ready for that, don't worry about it now. You would simply hit the skip button, and that way you don't have to worry about it. And then it's going to give you this build your page audience, and you're going to want to invite your friends. Now, here is another pro tip. Inviting your friends, beautiful idea. I recommend, however, inviting them in chunks. Facebook can get a little bit picky sometimes, and if you do too many things at once, it gets very worried that you're not actually a real person. It gets worried that you might be a bot. So I recommend taking your friends list and doing it in sections, doing it in chunks. When I first got going, what I did was I selected the people that I knew I was interacting with a lot, or the friends of mine that I knew were already big travelers, right? And I selected them first. Now, I'm not actually going to invite anybody on this particular training because this is not actually a real business. So you would do that here, and it's going to invite people from your personal Facebook page, all right? So we'd hit next. You can set these things to yourself, like decide if you want to get notifications on your profile, decide if you want those marketing and promotional emails about your page. For the purpose of this training, I'm going to go ahead and turn these off because I'm actually going to take this completely down after the training is done. But then we would hit that done button, boop. There we go. And it's going to let you know that it has switched to your profile. You're not going to be interacting with things necessarily as yourself. So that's totally good to go. We're going to just hit that little button there. Now, if you are unfamiliar with how pages work, I would highly recommend utilizing this Take Tour option. So that way it can actually guide you through what some of these different sections mean, what they do, and a little bit of how to utilize them, right? You're gonna wanna do that in your own time. Now you notice it's really trying to push me to wanna take that tour because it's like, oh my gosh, you just made something new. We wanna make sure you know what you're doing. But what I really wanted to do was get to this particular spot so you can see a little bit more of what I'm talking about in terms of what it does with this gradient band down here on the bottom, which is why we don't have any writing down there, and where it actually puts your profile image in relation to your cover photo. Right now, you can always come down here if you want to get that tour, if you want to find out more. This manage button is also going to allow you to do things. You can update your cover photo at any point in time, right? And it's going to do things like suggest you make a welcome post. It's going to allow you to do lots of different bits and pieces here. Okay, so this is going to be your basic how to set up your business page. Now I'm going to briefly walk us through a few other things. So 1 second here as I take us out of screen share. Fantastic. So once you have that business Facebook page already set up, which is super key, it's going to give you lots of wonderful information about how your posts are doing, who they're reaching. But know this now, until you get 100 followers on that Facebook business page, it's not going to actually be able to give you a lot of that data, a lot of those metrics about your demographics. Why is actually pretty simple because it doesn't actually have enough of that data yet. It needs to have people interacting with it before it can tell you anything about how your posts are doing or who's looking at them. Another good thing to know is that Facebook in its Meta Business Suite is actually going to give you a whole host of tools that you can be able to utilize. From that business suite, you're going to be able to make posts. You can schedule your posts in advance, which is a beautiful time saver. You can respond to comments from the Meta Business Suite. And you can also go about setting up to link your Facebook business account and your Instagram business account together. Once you have those two linked, from that Meta Business Suite, you will also be able to set up and schedule Instagram posts, respond to Instagram comments on your feed, as well as direct messages from your Instagram account. You can, I know I mentioned that you can comment on your post. You'll also be able to comment on any Facebook direct messages that are sent to you in that time frame, all from one beautiful, easy spot. And did I mention the Meta Business Suite is free? This is a free tool for you to be able to utilize that does not cost you any extra money. It does, however, cost you some time to learn how to do it properly and how to do it to the greatest advantage for yourself. Okay, so one thing I want to add in here that is often a very big question. People come to me and they say, Ash, what is the difference between liking a page and following a page? Well, the short and simple answer to that, my friends, is that when someone likes your page, it will show up on their profile as having liked your page. Other people will be able to see that they liked your page, and they will get to see some of your posts pop up in their feed. But beyond that, that's probably about as far as that like is going to go. For people to consistently see things that you are posting, they need to be following your page. Okay, so like gets them a little bit of access to what you're talking about and what you're posting. Following is going to give them that consistent presence of your business in their Facebook feed as they scroll without having to go directly to your page to find out what you've posted recently. Okay, now people who like a page will automatically follow it, which means they will get alerts in their notifications when you update things like your website. If you update your hours, they'll get notifications like that. And people who follow your page will also automatically like your page in that process. Okay, so we want to be promoting having people follow our pages over liking them, but liking them is still all well and good. There is nothing wrong with having lots of likes on your page. People will get better information from you from following it. And you need that magical number of 100 followers before you can get the really good info and metrics about who is engaging, what time are they engaging, how old are they, where are they located, what gender are they. It's going to give you all of these juicy tidbits once you unlock 100 followers. All right, team, I have one final tidbit here about our Meta Business Suite in general, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you that planner so that it can be a little bit easier to understand how it all works. Now, what I'm going to break down step by step for you, but I am not going to be able to show you because for this one, I do not have a dummy account set up to be able to actually take you through screen by screen, but I will give you all of the steps. This is how to connect an Instagram account to your business account from a desktop or laptop computer. There's a different set of instructions and Facebook does provide them if you do the Facebook help search, if you're trying to do this from a mobile device. These directions only work from a desktop or laptop device. Okay, now before you can connect these two things together, you will need to actually already have that Instagram account set up for your business. All right, so that does need to happen before you can link them. You'll need to have that name ready to go. You'll want to have your login information nearby and handy. I recommend from your desktop actually logging in to your business Instagram from another window. So you've got it all set up and ready to go. Now, how to get there? You're going to go into the Meta Business Suite on your desktop. You're going to click on Settings from the sidebar on the left. You're going to click Business Assets, then Add Assets, and you're going to select Instagram from the options there. It'll be clearly labeled. You'll just want to click that little Instagram button. It's going to give you some terms for use. So you're going to want to review those and then agree to them. And then you'll click a button that says Claim Instagram Account. A new window will pop up when you do that. From there, it's going to either ask you to log in, which is where you want to have your login information ready to go, or if you've actually already logged in and you have that window ready to go, you should actually just get a little bit of a pop-up that's going to ask you to continue as that particular Instagram handle. All right. So if you have that one set up, you want to click yes, and it's going to go bam, and it's going to connect them. If you don't have it logged in on a separate screen, it's going to ask you to input your username and password, and then you will want to click into Connect Account when that happens. Okay, now if you happen to have a different Instagram account, like say your personal one, logged in at the time, you would want to catch that in these moments and actually click on Switch Instagram Account and then log into the business one before you connect these two together. All right. If you have a two-factor authentication set up, which by the by, to have a business account, it's going to ask you to have a two-factor authentication. So it'll ask you to put in your security code at that time. You will have already selected how you get your security code when you set up your business account. From there, you'll hit, yep, all good to go. Then you'll click confirm and you will see a confirmation message that your Instagram account was added successfully. Okay. If for some reason what your message says is that it was unsuccessful, it should actually give you then and there some options to learn about why and how to be able to correct it. Once you've connected an Instagram account to your Facebook page, you can directly manage your business's activity across both Facebook and Instagram from the same places. This means that you can schedule posts, respond to messages, as well as comments. You can create ads in the Facebook Meta Business Suite, and you'll be able to see insights for all of these different options. Now, 1 second here, I'm actually going to screen share, and I'm going to take you into the planner so that you can see what it looks like. Now, this is clearly not going to have that Instagram account set up yet, so you're not going to be able to see how you can do both at the same time, but you're going to get the gist. All right, so coming to you now is our brief tour through the Facebook Meta Business Suite. Now, this is just my Facebook page. We have not actually entered into the business suite yet. To get there, we need to come down to this sneaky little guy hanging out towards the bottom that says Meta Business Suite. We're going to click on that bad boy, and it's going to have taken us here. You'll see that it's labeled. You'll see up in the top, the URL has actually changed. Those are the things that you want to see to know that you've gotten yourself into the right spot, into this Meta Business Suite, and it's going to be able to see everything. You're going to get to see it all from here. Now, this one is pretty blank, so it's not going to show anything particularly interesting yet, but I do want to talk about, this is going to be what your home screen looks like. It's going to show you any posts that you've made, right? It's going to show you any comments, people that you've reached. It's going to give you little suggestions down here on the bottom on things that you can do. Your notifications button over here is going to take you to notifications, and it'll list them all out. Inbox is also pretty self-explanatory. Posts and stories would actually take you to this screen right here, where what it's going to give you, if we had any posts that were published, it would list them all out. It would tell us on what kind of post it was. It would also tell us what platform it was on. It would give us the date. It can take us to our Facebook photos. It takes us to what our feed looks like. But what I really want to show everybody right now is actually the planner tool. Okay, so this planner tool, this is an amazing time saver. You'll notice that it keeps track of all the different things that we do here on Facebook. Now, if you have Instagram linked as well, it will also show you Instagram. It color codes everything, okay? So things will get shown with the little icon down in the bottom, our little F for Facebook and its blue icon. Instagram is going to be a kind of like purpley orangey color, and it's going to look like that little Polaroid camera that is the icon for Instagram. Stories from your Instagram will be color coded orange, and so you'll also get a way to see exactly what you've posted, and it will keep track of all of this as long as you have those accounts linked. Now, you can schedule things out pretty far in advance. You could sit here and you could schedule stuff for weeks. You can even like go through and you can change the month that you're working in, right? Also, one of the other handy dandy features that it can give you, now it's not showing us here because this one's not quite filled out correctly, or I shouldn't say correctly, it's not filled out enough yet, but it's going to give you different ideas of things like National Cupcake Day or National Coffee Day. It's going to tell you holiday dates, so that what it's doing is it's prompting you with ideas for posts that you can make. And it's up to you whether you actually make any posts related to those or not, but it's a really great way to be able to keep track of what's going on both in the future, what you've already posted, and to actually schedule things out. Now, this tool is a little bit on the newer side, so it does have a couple hiccups in it. What I recommend is always kind of like go back and double check after things are supposed to have been posted, make sure that they got posted correctly. I run into this problem a little bit with actually scheduling my Instagram posts through the planner. It doesn't always alert me when, say, I've typed too many characters, one too many hashtags. You can have a maximum of 30 hashtags on any given post. Now, wonderful thing about Instagram, Instagram itself actually has two kind of golden numbers for the number of hashtags on posts that receive the best engagement. And this is across all the industries. So know that you may need to play with it a little bit to find out what works best for you specifically. But our golden numbers of hashtags are 7 and that full 30. Okay, 7 or that full 30. Now, in this particular planner, another spot that can occasionally get a little bit fussy is actually around our images, because Instagram uses different ratios than Facebook does, which makes sense, right? Our Facebook desktop is going to be on a larger screen. Our Instagram is going to predominantly live on a smaller screen. So it is going to force you to do things. Occasionally, I find things that have not been posted correctly because the ratios on my images were off. In that case, I come in and I would simply select duplicate post and go in and make any adjustments that I need to make, and then I would repost it at that time. So this is a beautiful way, a beautiful tool to be able to utilize. Once you have it filled out, once you've got more going on, you could come into this Insights tab, and it would give you this beautiful little pop-up, like, what have you done this week? How far has your Facebook page reach gotten? How many posts have you made? How many stories? You can set goals right in here so that it can try to help you achieve your goals, right? And we would want to be able to view all insights, and this would give us news. Again, once we get past that 100 followers mark, it gives us news about our audience. It gives us news about who we're reaching, how it's reaching anybody. It would show us our best engaged content under this content area. It would give us a great idea. So if there's that reminder, we need to reach 100 Facebook page followers to actually get the demographics about who is looking at our pages. And it'll even give you recommendations for how to increase your engagement, how to build your audience. All of this is right here, ready to go for you, free of charge. So that's it for this particular training, my friends. This is our 101 about the Meta Business Suite and how it is a beautiful tool for utilizing our Facebook business page as well as our Instagram business account. We talked about some of the steps to go through and set it up on both sides of that equation, and we walked through what it looks like to actually get your Facebook page set up. Thank you for tuning in. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out into the Team Horizon Discord or your team chats, and hopefully someone will be able to help you further. Have a great rest of your day.